So, all right, Capricorn. Oh boy, here we go. From Le Vampire this week, you pulled Death Rites, saying goodbye, formal occasion, and honoring lives. But then from Chakra Wisdom, you pulled Victim. Now, immediately for me, I felt like being the victim of losing somebody, who is extremely important. Now, with Death Rites, the blessing says, honoring the ones who we have loved and who have left can be a beautiful way to come to terms with their absence and a way to help their soul make the transition to the new life beyond the veil, evidence of life beyond death. And then working with this card says, it's time to work with any fear you may have around death and dying and transform this through preparation, contemplation of your legacy, and considering the interactions you have had with deceased loved ones. So, again, needing to honor those who we have loved and who have left. But when you're looking at victim, this is where it gets a little bit rough. But for me, it's understandable. But, again, general, not going to apply to everybody. But now, victim, the card at a glance says that to grow into a tree, a planted acorn must be fully grown. A green acorn is an indication that you may need to be grounding and more solid as far as your plans to achieve what you truly desire. Now, the inspiration says that this card indicates that being in denial may be holding you back. To move forward, you must make an honest assessment of your situation. The personal question says, how are my actions connected to my inability to create breakthroughs? Am I willing to make new choices in order to grow? The key ideas are feeling blocked, blaming others, past resentment, deluding yourself, and potential for greatness. So for some of you, it's just basically going to have to do with feeling like, you're a victim because you've lost somebody who is close to you, or you're dealing with difficulties in life right now and maybe needing to reach out to, those loved ones that are helping us from the other side, so to speak. But those two, it shocked me a little bit when they came out. All right, Cap, here we go. Here's the energy coming through. Oh boy, the Two of Cups. So you're talking about a relationship right off the bat. Now, this could be any relationship here. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, but it is about the emotional bonding that you have with another person. So, regardless here, immediately it's going to have to do with a relationship. Now, in the past, the Four of Cups. When you're talking about emotionally bonding with somebody and you're looking at the Four of Cups as the past coming through, it's talking about not emotionally being in it. When you're looking at the Two of Cups, it's supposed to be reciprocating everything. Thoughts, feelings, ideas, all that is being bounced back and forth between two people. When you're looking at the Four of Cups, it's saying that in the past that may not have been the case. And again, it's that feeling of there's got to be something better than this, And for some of you, it's just not seeing what you want. But again, the worry there is the emotional apathy, not being emotionally involved. Now, for some of you, it's either you that's feeling that way or it's the other person. Oof. In the present, the Knight of Swords. So, immediately for me, it's needing to be careful about the communication that you're doing within a relationship. The Knight of Swords, I never question on whether or not it's the truth. It is the truth. The truth is always coming out of this Knight. The problem is the way that it's being communicated can be a little bit blunt and direct. But I kind of get the feeling that, for some of you, if you're dealing with a relationship where somebody is just, not emotionally there, I can understand why there's a need to communicate that. It's just being done in a really harsh way. But then the other thing too is you have to be careful about, making quick decisions and acting on them though too, because again, with the Knight of Swords, he's like, go, but not really having everything, known to him, right? Not having all the available information. Oh, future conditions. So basically what I'm seeing here is no matter what this relationship is, somebody is not emotionally in it. When you're looking at the Knight of Swords, there is direct, blunt communication, quick decisions, quick action, But when you look at the Four of Swords as future conditions, you're looking at the cut off of communication. It's somebody who's needing to take a break, literally needing to take a break from this. And then the other thing too is, my warning is if you act too quickly, right, when you're looking at the Four of Swords, it's a need to kind of reflect on those actions. But you don't want to be pushed to that point where there's silence and there's no more communication happening. But again, for some of you, it's either or. It's either, this is what is happening to you within a relationship, or you're doing this within a relationship. But either way, with the Four of Swords coming out, there is a cut off. It is silence. There is nothing being said here, but there is a lot of thinking about what has been done. Your best path to follow is telling you to reevaluate the situation. When you're looking at the Seven of Pentacles, again, I've always said, to me, it's not waiting. You've already seen the initial results of the effort that you put through, but are you seeing what you want? That's where you need to decide, what do I do next here? Do I continue doing things the way that I have been, or do I take a risk and do something different here to see some continuous growth? But basically needing to reevaluate what you have to show for the actions that you've taken, especially with the Knight of Swords being there. And basically that's, to me, it's what you're thinking about looking at the Four of Swords, or what you should be thinking about, right? I mean, regardless of whether or not it's you that has taken the action or somebody else, you're going to have to see it from a different perspective. It's a little bit different than the Hangman. It's not the waiting. It's you already see the initial results. Is it what you want? And looking at the Four of Cups as the past coming through, it's suggesting that somebody is not seeing what they want out of this relationship. Oh, in your environment, the Ace of Cups. And I feel like that's what both parties are wanting here. But somebody's not seeing it with the Four of Cups being connected to this. Somebody, I think, acted a little bit too quickly here. And I'm not seeing the ending of a relationship just with what you pulled here. What I'm seeing is, the need to take a break, needing to have a little bit of silence, and need to think about things. That Ace of Cups is there. It's a beautiful card. But, if somebody is acting too quickly, then they're missing out because, they're this way, but it's right here, which is a little bit rough. It's still there. It's just, whether or not anybody's willing to see it, because again, the Four of Cups, you're not seeing it. It's there, but you're not seeing it. Your hopes and your fears, the Seven of Staves or the Seven of Wands, somebody's got to speak up. Somebody's got to speak up. When you're looking at the Four of Swords, there is a cutoff in communication. It's silence. But when you're looking at the Seven of Wands as hopes and fears, it's saying that there's something that you need to say and hoping to be able to say it. But then not only that, somebody may be, defending the choice that they made looking at the Knight of Swords. I've always seen that with the Seven of Wands too, somebody needing to, defend the choices that they've made. But then on the other hand, I still feel like it's about using your voice. It's about using your voice. It's about, maintaining your position. It's saying that you have the higher ground. But somebody has got to say something that's not, blunt and direct, but, in understanding of, look, this is what I'm wanting. But there's a block in that communication because somebody acted a little bit too quickly and maybe did something that, they're going to be thinking about later on. And again, it's either you or the other person here when you're looking at the Two of Cups. But you, Capricorn, you have to look at the situation differently with the Seven of Pentacles. And again, with the Seven of Wands, you got to use your voice, right? You've got to make it known. This is what I'm wanting out of this situation. Oh, shit. And then the outcome, the Eight of Cups. Now, there's two ways for me to look at this. When you're looking at the Eight of Cups, you're either talking about, not feeding any more emotionally into something that's no longer serving, this situation here with the Two of Cups. Now, on the other hand, it could be walking away from a relationship here. Okay, so immediately what I feel like is when I'm looking at the Five of Pentacles, right, you're talking about being cast aside. Somebody's being rejected. Somebody's being left out. Somebody's on the outside looking in. This doesn't, to me, have anything to do with financial strain. So you're looking at rejection. But then you're looking at the Empress here. Now, in terms of, the female Capricorns here, when you're looking at the Five of Pentacles, this is the inability to indulge in the physical senses. This is somebody who is not comfortable with the situation. There may have been abundance in the past, but, something went wrong somewhere. When you're looking at strength, needing to pull on that reserve, needing to tap into that inner strength. The inner strength to either continue this or to walk away from it, because there's always the question there with the Eight of Cups on whether or not you're walking away. But then at the same time, needing to not feed so much emotionally into things that are not going to bring you back here to the Two of Cups, because again, this is front and center. And when you're looking at the Empress, especially if you're dealing with somebody who is feeling like they're being rejected or not being heard, right, or somebody not listening to them, and then having that blunt communication here, again, somebody's feeling like being pushed aside. The Empress is talking about you needing to be a little bit more nurturing though too, right? There is the potential for abundance there, but you need to have strength. You're either going to have to pull on that strength to either continue the situation, this relationship, or needing to have the strength to walk away completely, or needing to pull on the strength to stop feeding emotionally into what is not working in terms of the relationship. But again, I still feel like somebody here is going to be thinking about the action that they took. But it's all surrounding needing to have this emotionally fulfilling beginning, right? A reconnection for some of you. And again, it doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic relationship, although, when we're looking at the Two of Cups, that's usually what the case is. But for some of you, it could be a relationship that you have with a family member and you have the mother figure. It could be a working relationship though too. But I still think that, with the Seven of Wands being here, somebody's got to say something. Something needs to be said in a way that is not overly brutal, basically, But still, there is a need for you to look at the situation differently. Do you walk away? Do you not walk away? Maybe what you need to do is to just, pull on that strength to continue this and get to a point where there is a little bit more understanding with communication as far as what everybody's wanting. Because with that Ace of Cups being there, there's no reason why there shouldn't be that abundance of emotional fulfillment, especially within relationships. And then not only that, but with coming out, looking at the Four of Cups as the past coming back through, right? If you weren't seeing it before, now is the opportunity to see it, right? But it's all going to depend on what is being said and the actions that are being taken and the way that you're viewing the situation before you make any decisions here with the Eight of Cups coming out. Woo, Cap. All right, we're going to take a look at the soul trees to see what other messages there are for you guys. So, the only way for you to hit a rebirth, especially within relationships that are important to you, it's going to be based on your actions, and your actions have to have passion behind them, right? You can't come back in with this emotional blah, or lethargic feeling here with the Four of Cups. So, rebirth is good to see, especially with the Ace of Cups being there. But it's all going to depend on the actions that are being taken. And again, it's going to have to do with where your passion is. And the actions that you take have to be filled with passion, in order to get back to that feeling of connection, having that connection. All right, guys, we're going to take a look at the romance angels now to see what messages we get in terms of relationships. And then pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. Well, yeah, so... And the red flags are somebody feeling blah, There's something that needs to be communicated. But, the only way that the communication is going to get back on track is if you get a chance to know each other, right? But, I've seen worse. I can tell you I have seen worse when it comes to relationship issues. I feel like this isn't something that, you can't overcome, despite whatever action is being taken, whether that's you or the other person. But it's going to be up to you to see the situation differently. Because to me, it's like both of you are wanting this connection, looking at the Ace of Cups. But again, something needs to be said, but then there's like this cutoff here. You don't want to go into contemplation about the actions that have been taken and then feel like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I just need to walk away. I still feel like there's going to be, this need for you to be a little bit more nurturing when it comes to the emotions of others, especially if, there's this feeling of rejection. But then not only that, you need that as well. But regardless, you're going to have to pull on your inner strength to continue this.